My name is Gill Lewis and I am the author of Willow Wildthing and the Swamp Monster, illustrated by Rebecca Bagley. And I'm really excited to find out that Willow Wildthing is shortlisted for the Sparks Book Award. That's fantastic, thank you. Now, I wrote Willow Wildthing because it partly reminded me of my own childhood. I grew up at the edge of a city. We had really steep gardens that went all the way down to a bit of scrubby patch of council-owned woodland at the bottom. And the adults said it was a messy place, it needed a good tidy up, but for us it was magical. It held forests, it held valleys, it held dragons and pirates. It was the best place in the world. And so when I wrote about Willow, she just moved to a new house in a new town. She's got her little dog, Sniff, but she's quite lonely until she meets some friends who take her to the wilderness, to this amazing bit of scrubby patch of landscape, which is their world. But first of all, Willow has to find how to get there. And that all starts one night when she hears, woo! She hears a howling from the scrubby patch of woodland beyond her garden. And the next day, when she goes to play with her dog down at the bottom of the garden, something quite scary happens, because she's just looking at the scrubby patch of woodland at the hedge at the bottom of the garden, and she's thinking about her mum and dad, and her brother's been a bit poorly in hospital. So she's having a bit of a think, and she says, she pulled a dandelion and blew the seeds into the air. She wished again for Freddie to be out of hospital, and for Mum and Dad to be happy and not worried all the time. She watched her wishes drift up, up and away. She remembered last night's dream of being chased by monsters and losing Freddie. The dark made everything more frightening. No monsters, she said to Sniff. But Sniff wasn't listening. He was looking into a hedge at the bottom of the garden. You see him there? A low growl rose in his throat. What is it, Sniff? Whispered Willow. Sniff moved closer, sniffing at the hedge. Something large was moving behind it. Twigs snapped, dry leaves rustled. Sniff! Called Willow. The whole hedge seemed to bend towards Sniff. Willow jumped to her feet. Sniff, come back! Ruff! Barked Sniff. Ruff! Willow blinked once and saw something reach out from the hedge and grab hold of Sniff. Willow blinked twice and Sniff was gone. So Willow has to set off on an adventure to find Sniff. And Willow Wildthing and the Swamp Monster is the first book in a series of 4 books about the adventures of Willow and her friends. And the next book in the story is Willow Wildthing and the Dragon's Egg, where Willow and the wild things meet another group of wild things in their wilderness and have to decide what they're going to do next. So have fun reading all of the books. Thank you very much for shortlisting Willow Wildthing, and thank you from me.